with the microphone. There was a lovely young man somewhere. Lovely young man. Whoever answers to the name of lovely young man, come and assist me with the mic. Hey, the one you're lovely young man. Okay. Okay. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Please introduce yourself first, and then your party or where you're coming from.
Good morning. My name is Ibrahim K. Idrisu from Tema West. I'm the constituency organizer for MPP. Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you, sir. Now, give the man a warm round of applause. My participant, I can't make you work like that. Or you work. You work. Okay. Begin to take it round for me small. So begin to organize us.
Pass it. All right. Okay, that's fine. So let me start from here.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Antoinette Budako. I'm the Deputy General Secretary for the New Patriotic Party. Thank you. So today, from this dialogue, I expect that we are going to work together, not just as different political parties, but firstly as women. Because when we come together, we represent a more formidable force. So how do we make sure we take our parties forward? Together, we have to do it. If we fight together, then we can make the individual difference. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it good morning? Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My name is Vanessa Otuo Champong. I serve as the Deputy Youth Organizer for MPP Canada.
Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Lexi Bwahne, and I'm aspiring Deputy Secretary for Ashanti Regional's MPP Party. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Barbara Chum. I'm a member of MPP, and I'm a captain for Loyal Ladies.
Good morning, everyone. I am Perpetual Omoki Akwada, an aspiring women's organizer of the New Patriotic Party National.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Esther Oseidanso, PNC National Women's Organizer.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sandra Sarkodiado, Deputy National Youth Organizer for MPP. So you can see MPP is already driving the change. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Siba Salifu Shakibu, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman for PNC. Thank you.
My name is Janet Asana Nabla. I'm the chairperson and leader of the People's National Party. And I hope by the end of this dialogue, there will be an outcome that will be able to help us to get the 30%, let the president give 30% representative appointment to women in his government before we move forward to the 2028.
Good morning, everyone. Please, Hawa Haruna, women's organizer for Anyasotum, NPP.
Happy to have you, ma'am. Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I'm Brene Ofosohene, women's organizer, constituency women's organizer for Amasamai.
Which party, please?
PPP, sorry.
Oh, PPP.
Yes,
Happy
please.
to have you.
Awake.
Happy to have you. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes, please.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Paulina Yaya. I'm an executive member for PPP.
Happy to have you, ma'am. Happy to have you. Yes, please.
Good morning. My name is Lillian Bruce from African Center for Parliamentary Affairs, simply called ASEPA, CSO.
I didn't hear your name.
Lillian Bruce.
Lillian Bruce. Happy to have you. Happy to have you. As
Good
for the
morning.
CSOs, I can bully them, so it's all right. Yes,
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kate Schremer, Central Regional NPP Communications Team member, and I am a member, proud member of the New Patriotic Party.
We are delighted to have you. Yes.
My name is Zuwairatu Mohammed Bello, Ayawaso East Deputy Women's Organizer, proudly MPP.
Happy to have you too.
I'm Fatia Nkrumah.
Fatia Nkrumah, wow. Okay, let me get up. Go ahead, please.
I'm Fatia Nkrumah, member of the MPP and also the Deputy TESCOM Coordinator for Upper West Region.
Happy to have you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Donuki Nanote, 2024 parliamentary candidate for NPP, Adan constituency.
Happy to have you. That's why you look so familiar. Yes. The man doing the photograph, I love you immensely, but you are getting in my way. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning. I'm Hamdia Mohammed, a member of the New Patriotic Party.
Happy to have you, Hamdia.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Linda Mpofuatabi, woman organizer, Amasamai for MPP, and then commander for Loyal Ladies for Amasamai. Thank you.
Happy to have you. Yes, please. The Royal Ladies, I've heard of them, Bisa. So today I'm meeting real life members. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Regina Usuainsia, and I'm a member of the Loyal Ladies and a commander for one of the major platforms, and also a polling station secretary at the Ablekuma West.
Happy to have you. I vote in Ablekuma West. Moving right along.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Felicia Jifa-Akoli, Greater Accra Regional Women's Organizer for CPP.
Happy to have you, ma'am. Happy to have you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mariam Futa, CPP, and also a rep from the Women's Wing. Yeah.
CPP.
Yes, please.
Happy to have you as well. Happy to have you.
Godwin Oparado is my name. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm the Great Accra Regional Chairman of the CPP.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Happy to have you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mark Kwabena Afo, MPP Tema Central Constituency Organizer.
Happy to have you too, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Irene Rekwanse. I'm an information officer with the Information Services Department,
Okay,
head office.
okay. Happy to have you. ISD, yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maria Mohammed, a polling station secretary in Amasaman constituency and a proud MPP member.
Happy to have you.
Good morning. My name is Beatrice Soa, and I work with TV3.
You are?
I work with TV3.
TV3. Okay, sort of happy to have you.
My name is Beta, Ghana News Agency.
You two, sort of happy to have you. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Please, I'm Nancy Nkansa Amatefiu, a constituency women organizer for Ablekuma North, a proudly NDC member.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you.
Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Linda C., Deputy National Women Organizer for the Progressive People's Party. Thank you.
Fabulous. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, can somebody help me with the mic? Maura, yeah. Okay, that's one of my babies. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm Honorable Vida Tangbam, the Assemblywoman for Abokobi, and also with Women in Politics Training 2021 year group, proudly for the reset in Ghana. Thank you.
Vida, you are welcome.
Good morning, everyone. And I wish all of you Happy New Year to meet you again.
Happy New Year.
I'm Sophia Toshe Anai, Deputy Woman Organizer for CPP Region. Thank you.
Happy to have you, ma'am. Happy to have you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Lebenam Gifty Amekwedi. I'm with the Network for Women's Rights in Ghana. Thank you.
I'm happy to have you. You see, when somebody is talking, you want to make eye contact with the person. And the minute I try to make eye contact, then the man will jump in front of me and messes me up. Yes, please, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christopher Kevin Asim. I work with CTFM and Channel 1 TV. And today, I'm looking forward to seeing how the women from the various political parties themselves will make the work that the CSOs have been doing for many years meaningful, because they keep presenting the data, they keep making the advocacy. I want to see how the women from the political parties themselves will make this possible. Thank you.
Right, thank you. CTFM, you are sort of welcome. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Naomi Akusia Usu, three-time constituency women organizer and aspiring Greater Accra Regional Women Organizer. Thank you. Proudly, MPP.
Proudly, MPP. MPP, okay, yes, you are welcome.
Good morning. My name is Bright Esiedu Adamte, the TESCOM president for Methodist University, MPP. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shaibu Isaka, Adanta Constituency Youth Organizer, MPP.
Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Foribuachi. I was East Women's Organizer, proud of Elephant.
Which one? Elephant, wow. Madam, you said elephant, eh? Okay, great. Yes, please.
My name is Kelvin Ashaw, the constituency youth organizer for the PNC.
PNC?
Yes.
Fabulous. Thank you. Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Genevieve Boine, Madina Constituency Women Organizer for MPP.
Wonderful. You are welcome.
Good morning. I'm Rebecca Kweku, a journalist with the Daily Graphic. Thank you.
Sort of, you are welcome. Yes, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Togbi Vanya II, patron NDC Women's Wing, and then from the Office of the Vice President, the chairperson of Economic Management Team, and the chairperson of Ghana Police Service. Thank you. NDC have kicked already. We are doing well, and we'll do more. Help us give the Defense Ministry to a woman. Thank you.
Togbi, thank you very much for coming. We are happy to have you. Papa, move your stomach from there. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is LP Edem from Bridge Ministries International Church.
Okay,
Thank you.
Ministries
International Church. Yes, please.
You are welcome. Now,
Thank you.
Church and politics are not paying. Right, I think we've gone around the room. My able organizer, but mid-table, yes, please. So my able organizer, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Yes.
My name is Deborah Tayo Akakbo. I work with the Gender Studies and Human Rights Documentation Center.
Debbie, you are welcome, as usual.
I have introduced
you
myself.
I've introduced you. And this one, I'll introduce her.
Yeah.
She's my younger sister, so I'm best placed to introduce her. Right, so,
I'm finished.
Asmesi, introduce yourself so that they know what to do. So that they can get the help they need. Who is that somebody? Yes. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
Yeah, my name is Helena Ya Nkrumah. I'm a constituency women's organizer for the NDC Okaikwe South.
Fabulous. Well done. Well done. Well done. Thank you. All of those lovely ladies, please, madam, please mention your name so that they can know who to go to help from.
Auntie.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Grace Ampoma Efrifa.
Yes.
I work with Abantu for Development as the head of programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Grace.
Good morning. My name is Becky Enyunam Ahachi. I work with the Affirmative Action Law Coalition as the coordinator. Thank you.
The indefatigable coordinator, yes?
Hello, everyone. My name is Portia Uswamwat, and I work with Abantu for Development.
The
Thank
lovely
you.
Portia, an accomplished Portia. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, what's your coordinator here then? Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Chebafo. I work with Abantu for Development.
Jacqueline,
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. Right, so folks, I think we have a healthy Thank you very much. A healthy mix of participants here. We are ready to work, and we know who's here. They say when people are in opposition, when you call them pet, then they come. I haven't said anything. Right, so it's about 10:53. I want us to use just 10 minutes. There is snack there. Just 10 minutes. You people have been sitting for a long time. People are thirsty. People are hungry and stuff like that. So those who are not lenting, even those who are lenting, I won't tell God, grab yourself a bite for just 10 minutes, and then we'll be back to start. Because I'm determined to get you out of this room by 1 o'clock. Is that okay with everybody? All in favor say aye. Great. So there's tea, there's coffee, there's juice. There are bites over there. Help yourselves. The washroom is down the corridor. Do that quickly, 10 minutes and come back. Vida, 10 minutes, Mobi and Samra. Why? Okay, great. As for Dr. Tibudaku, she's too old for me to be giving her this work. Right. Okay, very quickly.
So basically what I've tried to do is just merge it. That's all.
and I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. Father, you think I can sing, eh? So help me God. What's it? So, ladies and gentlemen, shall we begin to approach? You can bring your tea with you so I can maximize my time. I can maximize my time. So, can we come back? Can we come back? Can we come back? Sheila, original one. Sorry, Uber project. But Uber project. Uber PowerPoint project. Okay. Right, shall we come, bring your snacks with you. Bring your snacks with you. Let's settle down. Shall we settle down very quickly? I need me time you. Shall we settle quickly? It's time for the highlights of the program, and I'm just so excited to introduce our main speaker who will be speaking to us, providing an overview of the Affirmative Action Act and the key provisions that are relevant to political parties. The person who is going to do this for us is Mrs. Sheila Minka-Premo Esquire. She's a well-known, revered, and experienced lawyer. She has over 35 years of experience at the bar. She is the managing consultant at ALC Law Consult. Maybe some of you knew it as Apex Law Consult. And also the president of the Women's Forum of the Ghana Bar Association. She has considerable expertise as an international development consultant, a gender activist, and a proponent of women's rights. She's also the convener of the Affirmative Action Law Coalition, those who spent sleepless nights to sort of shepherd this through. I mean, we all follow it with our to base, but there are some people who must dot their I's and cross their T's. So it's a critical player in that regard. And a member of the Gender Equity Committee, which has been formed by the law under the auspices of the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very, very proud to introduce our speaker, Mrs. Sheila Minka-Premo Esquire. Yes. Oh, I'm not happy with the class.
Thank you very much, Auntie Esther. Distinguished persons, honorable persons, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. So, yeah, thank you very much. So I'm happy to be here with you and to share information on this very important law, which is the reason why we are here. Whilst I wait for my presentation to be projected, I'd like to find out how many of you have seen a copy of the law. Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act of 2024, Act 1121. How many of you have seen it? Or at least have heard about it? All of you have heard about it, but have not seen it. Okay. So I'm here to give a few highlights to enable us to start reflecting on what political parties should be doing to ensure that we have enough women in leadership. So I'm looking at implementing the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act, the role of political parties, the progress so far, the gaps, and the way forward. Okay, so this is the outline of the presentation. A few introductory remarks. Becky, you didn't let me do my outline. Anyway, so by way of introduction, I've indicated we are here to look at this very important law, which is supposed to have a big impact on the involvement of women when it comes to leadership. So it represents a crucial advancement in Ghana's efforts towards gender equity as well as women's empowerment. Hello? I don't know whether I should have that small one so that I can be in control, but I hope that Becky, who is helping me, will be in the pointer. So in Ghana, I think the last population census we did was in 2020. I'm sure we were all interviewed somewhere along the line, right? So the results indicated that we had more women than men. That is, 50.7% of the population are women. But when it comes to leadership in positions, particularly political leadership, governance, leadership, there are fewer women that we know of. But the reality is, if you have more women than men, why is it that women, we don't see them in key positions in leadership? Okay? And the key thing is that if you don't have enough women in key leadership positions, that is, positions where decisions are taken, will women have an impact on the decisions that are taken? I'm sure you all remember some time ago there was this normal finance-related law, customs tax amended law, which amended the customs law, puts some additional taxes, they call it luxury taxes, on some of the inputs which were used for the manufacture of sanitary pads. You recall what happened? The prices went up. When the prices went up, who were the ones who suffered? And even with women, those of us who are in the urban areas, did we suffer like those who are in the rural areas? And for those in the rural areas, those who are older like me, it didn't really have much of an impact. Who are the ones who suffered most? Are younger women who needed it. Young women in schools, etc. We heard harrowing stories of girls who chose not to go to school when they were in their period. And so many things happened. It took advocacy by a lot of women's groups. Remember the Daily Graphic, many newspapers, people were agitating and saying, hey, the thing should be changed so that the young girls can afford these sanitary pads. People were even sleeping with, some young girls had to sleep with men to be able to get money to buy the sanitary pads. I'm sure you heard the stories. How people did research, etc. Do you think that if we had enough women who were where laws are made, that would have happened? So what we are saying is that we need women in places key places where decisions are made, so that we can make an input into it. If we look around, we'll do a quick scanning at the executive, when it comes to government, the key positions, we have the executive arm of government, we have the legislature, and then we have the judiciary, and then we have other sectors as well. As far as the executive arm of government is concerned, have we ever had a female president in Ghana? Yes, we are fortunate to have our very first female vice president. We are very proud. Yes, a very big clap for her. When it comes to ministerial positions, yes, we have a few women, but it's just a sprinkling. Traditionally in Ghana, we've had more men as ministers than women. And please, we are not targeting any particular party. All the parties is what? Is the same. Yes. When it comes to Council of States, who are supposed to be advising the president, you also have always had more men than women. For a long time, the economic management team, usually, there are times when it's all men. Sometimes you have a sprinkling of a few women. This is the norm in Ghana. And do you know why it is like that? Why? Can we guess? What are some of the reasons why we have more men in key positions when it comes to politics and key decision-making positions? Why do you, any guess? Yes, madam. It is the culture. What are some of the things we say in our culture which reflects that? When it comes to leadership, it is for Bema. What are some of the things? What are some of the sayings that we have? Pacho, what is this here? Yes, it's your twa, and then actually babu. And then it's the same thing. Aha. They say Oba Kitatria away. Meaning, when it comes to things that are substantial, it's supposed to be a men's way. So our culture itself reflects that. Apart from the culture, what else? Our religion, isn't it? Men are the Bible says men are the head. They say women, sometimes they say the women are the neck, or we are what? And it's only the Christian religion. In the Islamic religion too is very similar. Basically, somehow women are supposed to be in a secondary position. So people see women as operating in where? The private area. And then when it comes to key leadership, it is men who are supposed to be in charge. This is also an old table that we have, and we've been trying to update it, we've not been able to update it. If you look at the legislature, that is parliament, they are the ones who make laws, etc. That's the second arm of government. In Ghana, we gained independence in 1957. At that time, we didn't have a parliament, where it was something else, constituent assembly, etc. We became a republic in 1960. Since 1960, in 1960, a special law was passed under CPP, the very first president of Ghana, President Kwame Nkrumah. He realized that because of the culture in which we had, there was not likely to be any woman at all in parliament. So they passed a special law called the Representation of the People's Act, which enabled women in the 10 regions to vote among themselves to bring 10 women to parliament. So that's the first time we had women. At our first parliament, we had women. There were 10, making it 9.6. The next election was in 1965. People saw that women too could be in big positions. Mrs. Alassane and the people were hearing that they were doing things. So in 1965, during the election, out of 104 members of parliament seats, there were 19 women, making it 18.2%. Do you know that that is the highest we've ever had in Ghana? It is the highest. After that, of course, there was the coup d'etat. And when there's a coup d'etat, usually, the army is in power. Who is the one who is ruling? It is men, etc. So by the time we came to our second republic in 1969, only one woman was elected. At that time, the first CPP law had been made away with, etc. Only one. That made it 7%. If you look at the trends, in the last few years, since 2020, 14.5. I think at that time we had 175 members of parliament, out of which only 40 were women. 14.5. Currently, we have 276 member parliaments. How many are women? 41. Making it what? 14.8 or something like that. So that seems to be the trend. Things haven't really changed much. That has been where we've been hovering. Can we go back? Meanwhile, the United Nations, Ghana is a member of the UN. I'm sure you're all aware. Our own Kofi Annan has been the head before. What they say is that at least in every country, when it comes to gender representation, at least there should be what? 30%. Ghana, as I said, we've never even crossed the 20% mark. Okay? Oh, are we going forward or backwards? When it comes to local governments, it's even worse. Currently, I think at the last election was for 2023. The women who got voted into power, to become honorable members of parliament, honorable members at the local government, it was what? 4%, very low. Why do you think that local government is even worse than at the national level? All the cultural things we are talking about, that is where it is even stronger. I remember at the last election, Abantu organized a meeting at Tomeric Hotel. And there were women sitting by me. I think they were from the Shah Osudoku area. They were standing. And they said they had received calls that they should step down for a man to be in their position, for men to stand, So at the local level, it's even worse. And that is where also decisions are taken, which affects people in the markets, people in, communities where we live. It's not good at all. So local government is also not a good story to talk about. Can we move on? So following the Beijing conference in 1995, Ghana adopted a cabinet memorandum on affirmative action. That's the very first attempt that we had to have a policy on affirmative action. It achieved quite a lot. For instance, it is that policy that indicated that when it comes to, local government, we have elected members, and then we also have appointed members. He said that 30% of the appointed members should be women. You remember that around that time too, under the late Nana Konedu Ajiman Rawlings, there was a lot of noise about girl children. Send your girl child to school. Remember the song? Those who are older, the younger ones, they don't even remember. Send all kinds of songs to encourage people to let girl children go to school. Because it was realized that for most families who are not very wealthy, when it comes to choosing between the boy and the girl going higher, they would always opt for the boy, because they said the girl, you end up in somebody's kitchen. So there was no need to spend too much money on her education. And there were a few other things. So they set up the girls' education unit of the Ghana Education Service to try to push for more girl child education. But the number of women in leadership continued to remain low, and it was clear that equal participation and representation will not happen without legal intervention. So several groups and individuals have been working on gender discrimination. Some undertook research, some advocacies and sensitization. I know that in 2011, the then Minister for Women and Children Affairs also set up a technical committee to also do some work, to do research, etc. And they made a case for having an affirmative action law. Even 2016, under Honorable Nanoye, there was a bill that went, the then bill, Affirmative Action Gender Equality Bill, went to Parliament, but it didn't go far. And then there was election and it lapsed. But so we realized as civil society in 2019, we decided that, look, if we didn't come together and push government from the outside, we're not likely to have a law. So we set up an affirmative action. At that time, it was called Bill Coalition in September 2019. And we are hosted by Affirmative for Development. We have a convener, which is myself. We have a coordinator, who is Becky, who introduced herself to help push for the law to come into place. Can we, yeah. So working together with government, particularly the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, the law eventually came into place in 2024 under Honorable Dakwa, who was also the then minister. So for me, this law is one of those laws that is bipartisan. All people from different parties, at least the two key ones, all played a role in getting this law to pass. And we're very grateful for that. So what does the law seek to do? It seeks to provide a legal framework and an accountability framework for measuring gender equity in the executive arm, the legislature, the judiciary, public and private sectors. It seeks to promote a progressive increase in the active participation of women in public life from a minimum of 30% to equality of 50% by the year 2034. And you know that there are a number of international instruments that Ghana seeks to enforce. I remember I mentioned the first one, which is the UN. One of them is a key, CEDAW is Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. They are the ones who are saying at least a minimum of 30%. We also have what we call the Sustainable Development Goals, which came into effect in 2015, which says that by the year 2030, all members of the UN should ensure that there's parity when it comes to leadership. So the way our law says, the starting of the law, it says that there should be 30% first by the end of this year, and then by the year 2034, there should be equality or parity. So in the law, the very first section, it talks about progressive targets for public and private sectors. So it says that government shall promote policies and programs to redress the political, social, economic, and educational imbalance in both the public and private sectors. So as I said, there's a schedule which everybody is supposed to comply with at the back of the law. It says from 2024, when the law came into effect, to 2026, there should be 30% increase. 2025 to 2028, 35%. And from 2029 to 2034, we are supposed to reach parity of 50%. So we have a lot of things to do. And one of the things you should also remember is that this law is also grounded in the Constitution of Ghana. The Constitution says that, Article 17 of the Constitution says there should be no discrimination on the basis of gender. But Article 17.4 clearly states that where it is found that historically there's been discrimination against one gender, then there's nothing wrong if Parliament passes a law to address what? The imbalance. So that's one of the things that this law is also grounded in. And it is hoping that it will... The law doesn't say women, it just says the gender which is down, which is lower, which is not in leadership, is the one that should be supported to get to the same level as the other gender. We all know that it's women who are, or the female gender that is down there, which need to go up. The law is also based on the fact that other countries use law to be able to get to where they are. Some of the classic ones is Rwanda. They have an affirmative action embedded in their constitution. And it says there should be 30%. You know, they have suffered a lot before, after the genocide, etc. So they took things very seriously. They put the 30%. The women are there, and the women are working so hard that, as we are speaking now, in the whole world, Rwanda has the highest number of women in their parliament and in leadership, their local governments, their parliaments, etc. And the more people see the women who have been given positions working and working well, the more people are willing to, to bring them in. And they have a system, their electoral system is not like ours, which is what we call first past the post. Theirs is a proportional representation. So different sectors of the country are supposed to nominate people. And the people see that if the women can work, let them go, and they deliver. What is Rwanda noted for? Doing very well. Is noted as one of the cleanest countries in Africa. When it comes to their economy, they are doing very well, okay? For me, I can say, Rwanda, in East Africa, they don't eat pepper a lot. They call it chilies. They don't like chili a lot. But they have very good grounds for growing this thing. So, in Rwanda, anytime anybody goes there, the gifts they bring is what? Chili oil. They grow the pepper, and they have factories where they manufacture small, tiny vials of pepper. I always say, I don't know who started that industry, but I keep saying that it is the women who are in leadership who probably started that. We don't like the pepper. Many people, particularly in West Africa and the rest, like the pepper. Let's find a way in which you can experiment to get the pepper oil, and they sell it, and it's this thing. And it's clean. Women are also, when it comes to the gender division of labor things, one of the things in our homes, who is the one who keeps the homes clean? So if they are in positions, they can also translate it nationally. That is why they make sure the place is as clean as possible. Also Kenya. Kenya is similar to us because they have a similar history like us. They have the first past the post system, etc. But in their constitution, they also had wisdom in putting in some provision. Well, they realized that if we left things as it was, the likelihood that women would come up in leadership was very low. So they say that not more than 2/3 of gender in every decision-making position is in their constitution. It's some kind of, in their parliament, they have this, even though their system is similar to ours, they have some special seats as well, almost similar to what we had in 1960. So they have women who are represented. Recently, ASEPA did a workshop for their project. They brought some people from Kenya. A young lady, I'm sure she's in her 20s. She was a member of parliament, and she had been one of the people who have been nominated to go to parliament. So it's just similar to our local government system where the election will go on, but then a few are nominated. So it gives the voice of everybody. People with disability are there, extra women are there, the youth are there, and they all make a voice when it comes to lawmaking. And in such a way, don't you think everybody's interest will be represented? Yes, very, very important. So they are there. So currently, they have 23.4% women representation. As I said, Rwanda has 66. Then Sierra Leone, which is also similar background like us, British colonial rule, first past the post, they also saw that they needed to make a change. So they passed a law called the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act in 2022, where there's also supposed to be a women's list. 1/3 of every list for all positions should have at least 1/3 of them being women. So they passed their law in 2022. By their first election in 2023, women increased. They were similar to ours. They were around 14%. The number of women jumped to 29. That's almost 30%. And it used law. I know that right now we've heard that the law is being challenged. They said that the law is not reflected in their constitution. It's like it was the president's will to push for this law. So I hear people are challenging them in this thing. But at least they have the women there. And the women there are very tough, I would say. Can we go on? The next slide. So back to our law again. As we said, section 14 to 17 talks about making gender equity mandatory in governance. So it says that the government must ensure progressive gender balance in appointments to ministerial positions, governing bodies, public services, judicial assemblies, and any other appointment made by the president. So governing bodies or public institutions must ensure gender equity in appointments, all in line with the third schedule, which we'll be looking at, which outlines strategies for public service implementation. So gender balance is not a discretion now, it is mandatory according to this law. Then the accountability structure. It establishes a body called the Gender Equity Committee, which I believe Isaac took you through, at least informed you about that. It's been set up and they started working to help with implementation. And then there's a grievance procedure in the law where anybody who is aggrieved, thinking that their rights have been violated according to the law, to go to this Gender Equity Committee or also to go to SHRAJ. We all know SHRAJ, Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. We also have the national, if it's a labor-related matter, the National Labor Commission can also come in, and ultimately to the High Court to go and pursue their rights. Then the law also mandates mandatory gender disaggregated reporting. That means that all institutions are supposed to submit reports, and the reports will be submitted to the Gender Equity Committee. And if they comply, that particular institution has complied, a document called a compliance certificate will be issued by the Ministry of Gender, facilitated by the GEC again. And then there are also sanctions for non-compliance. And then as far as the private sector is concerned, they are supposed to come up with what they call gender policies, which will ensure that they show clearly how they intend to address gender equity issues. And if they comply, they are supposed to be given incentives as well, tax incentives, etc. And then they should have a right to some government procurement. They should be given some ranking, which would make them higher than those who are not complying. Then one key part about the law is something that we call gender responsive budgeting. So it says the government shall take steps to promote gender responsive budgeting in all sectors. That means that anytime the government, every branch of government is submitting their budgets, there should be a part of it which shows that they've considered gender implications of the budget and made special provision for it. So for instance, if they are building schools, education, they have to make sure that there are enough toilets. You know, for females, if you go to a school where there's no toilets, do you think that you'll be happy to go there? Because women need, they need the toilets in a special way. Things like that is very, very important. So local government people, MMDAs, government agencies, they are supposed to include a budget line to deal with gender-specific and gender-sensitive issues identified in their plans. And the ministry responsible for finance is to ensure the provision of adequate resources for the implementation of prioritized gender equity policies, programs, and projects. Then there's an offense part of the law. So it is an offense to victimize, obstruct, or exert undue influence on the person in an attempt to defeat the objects of this law. If you subject an employee to gender-specific verbal attack, stereotyping, hate speech, or harsh rhetoric, what are some of the things women experience when they are trying to push either to enter into a position or into power? Sexual harassment. They say, oh, yeah, you know, women are supposed to, we have our stereotypes. Women are supposed to be gentle and not too known, etc. And if you are gentle like me and things, do you think that you can enter into political position? You have to be extra aggressive. Whilst you're also doing it, they said, or your bar, or they call them what? Or bar, beba. All that's, you know, if you're being assertive in a certain way, or your bar, on not so. My men here, isn't it true? Now, how do you bring up our daughters? We bring up our daughters to be soft, to be respectful to their elders. There are even some places where the woman has to talk to a man, she has to go on her knees. Not so. Then you, the woman, you go and stand on the platform to say that you are coming to be this thing. The questions they will ask you as a woman is not the same that they will ask a man. The woman, they will ask you, why worry? Don't worry. Then they'll say, what shall we fear you in or mine, whatever. Won't worry, who are you? If you are not married, who are you? What labels do they give you? We are too, whatever. So there's always a problem. The kind of questions they can't ask are men when they are also aspiring to positions. So they say that it is an offense to be doing that. Specific verbal attack, stereotyping, hate speech, and harsh rhetoric. Then discriminate against, intimidate, or seek to disqualify a candidate on grounds of gender, or fail to provide information if the ministry is requiring for information, failing to provide that information, knowingly provide false information contrary to the requirements of the law. So he said, if you do any of these things, you commit an offense, and you are liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 500 penalty units and no more than 1,000 penalty units, or to a term of imprisonment of no less than 6 months. One penalty unit is still 12 Ghana cedis, so it's 6,000, etc., etc. Some of us thought that the punishment is not strong enough, but this is what we have in here now. And one of the things that even the women who are strong enough get the positions and they are there, if they make the slightest error, what happens? It's English our first language. And then when the men, I believe, sometimes also make mistakes. But if a woman who is trying to talk plenty and is making mistakes with the English, what do? They would throw. Nowadays, there's what they call technology facilitated. They'll take a picture of you. Look at the English she's speaking. She's sitting there, she can't even speak English, etc. Onyedipa. Yes, Now, let's look at why we are here. Obligations of political parties under the law. So, as we reflect on our current reality, we must confront the fact that women's representation in elected offices like parliament and local government, as you saw, is what? Very low. The stark statistics is not merely a number. It signifies the underrepresentation of half our population in critical decision-making processes that shape our communities and our nation. There's one of our previous ministers, whenever she was talking about this law, she would say, you have 2 legs, and you decide to hold one back. Can I be able to walk to where you are without falling? You need the 2 legs. You need representation from the 2 so that you can be able to move forward properly. So the statistics is there. It's not just, it signifies underrepresentation of half our population in critical decision-making processes that shape our communities and our nation. And it's an indicator, that we have yet to be able to accomplish. How do we get enough women into leadership? The passage of the law, this Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act, offers a turning point. It's a leverage on the provisions of the law to make demands. We have to leverage on it to make demands and push for gender equality. Is somebody helping me? I can see Becky. Okay. So why political parties are central to the implementation of the Act? Political parties control access to political office. The numbers in parliament, you can talk anything that you want to talk about parliaments, but the process of getting, if you want to talk about the numbers, it is how people are able to get there, which is the key thing. Political parties determine who is nominated, who is funded, who rises within the party structures itself. The key point is that without political party compliance, national targets will not be achieved. We need political parties dearly. So the main obligations for political parties are in Section 20 and the 7th schedule. The main strategy for local governance are also in Section D of the 3rd schedule of the law. And the 4th schedule has strategies for the executive, which applies to appointees in governments, both at the local and national levels. We'll take a closer look at this. The next slide. So Section 20, when I was giving an overview, I deliberately left Section 20 of the law to enable us to look at it by itself. So it says that a political party shall ensure achievement of gender equity targets in the first schedule in participation and representation. So the first schedule is the table, 30%, 35%, 50%. So it says in participation and representation. Okay? So it says that when you talk about participation, what are we talking about? It means within your own party structures, the leadership structures, you have to make sure that you have enough both men and women at that leadership position. And then for representation, it's starts with the primary level up to those that you get ready for election, as well as the election process itself. So parties shall adopt measures to provide information and financial resources to achieve the gender equity targets. I know that in the manifesto of most parties, they will say that, they've made financial provision. They say that women aspirants pay less in terms of fees to stand for positions than men. And I think that the political parties have done well. It all shows that they're all trying to make sure that they give access to women. And then parties must factor equity targets in the sponsorship of candidates for elections and appointments as party officials. They're also supposed to submit gender equity reports to the EC annually, among others. What I'll say is that, so when they ask the women to pay less, and then they start the process, are they also giving money to help them? Women have problems when it comes to money. No, so. In most single parent homes in Ghana, who are the ones who are the parents? The single parents. The mothers. So everything she earns goes where? The children. So it is difficult for women to amass the kind of wealth that men are able to amass and to move on. Not so. I know that people say, oh, there's also the Godfather syndrome. Not so. When the Godfather sponsors you, what are the implications? We won't talk about it. We beg you. We don't want to do this thing. Now, the 7th schedule has strategies for gender equity in relation to political parties. So some of the strategies, and these are out in the law. It is set out, the law has, this is one of the few laws in Ghana where we have strategies. It's at the back. So the 7th schedule, the 7th schedule, let all of you will get a copy of the law before you leave here. So that after this quick overview, you can read it for yourself. So strategies in relation to political parties says a political party shall ensure the creation of a database of female aspirants for political positions at all levels of decision making. Sometimes the question is asked, where are the women? I'm sure you've heard of it before. They say create a database. All the women who are interested in your political parties for different positions, create a database of them so that when positions open up, you know where to go. A political party shall conduct mentoring programs for aspiring, successful and unsuccessful female candidates. When a female candidate tries to, stand for power or whatever, whether she's successful or not successful, she learns, some lessons come out of it. So they are saying that try and do a mentoring program for them. Gather them together, let them share what their experiences are, what worked, what did not work, so that the next time they stand, some lessons will be learned that will help to make them more successful. And I know that many women who try to stand, they may not start and then get access the first time. Sometimes second time or third time. And it is based on the lessons that they learn that they're able to come again. A political party shall create a gender-sensitive organizational structure that values and promotes gender equity within the political party to help address systemic barriers to achieve participation of women in decision-making. When I was here when you were doing the introductions, majority of the women leaders here, at least within the main party structure, are what? Where do you find them? Women organizer. Particularly for the two big parties who have won political positions in this country for a long time. Have you heard of a woman chairman before? Hey, there's chair, then general secretary. Now things are improving. At least the deputies, some of them are women, etc., etc. But most women, you find them in the women's wing. And then you call the other one, they call the what? Royal ladies. And things. We want the women too to be in the key financial secretary. Or what's the position called? What? General secretary. Then what else? Please, women, don't only push for the women's wing. Push for the main one as well. And be there to influence policy. So we are saying that they should create a culture so that if you, a woman, want to stand for this, they'll just say, hey, you understand? You have to equip yourself to be able to take some of these positions and be there to act. And the political party shall provide leadership training and support to women in the party to help address unique challenges that women encounter. From childhood, some women are told, oh, your bar, this is your space. This. So a lot of women need what they call reorientation. You say that it is the knowledge, what is in your head, your abilities, which should be harnessed. Because the orientation we get as children, the socialization process has put us in a certain way. Hey, we are this. I mean, things that you should not aspire for. People like me still have little hang-ups from childhood. I'm a crap, and you say, we are beer. Space we have and things. We need mentoring to free our minds that we can also achieve and aspire. Okay? Then the political party shall adopt gender mainstreaming policies and programs of the political party. Gender mainstreaming. Make sure that at each level, women are also there. Women should, during campaigning time, it's not only women. When it comes to, I hear that one of the things the women's wing usually do is, as the campaigns are going on, they do a lot of the cooking. Not so. In this world there, who are the best cooks? Who are you see, we cook small things. And there's plantain and this thing. When it comes to the restaurants, who are there? And then when you see, women can care. We've been doing a small thing, can care this. We don't. A woman who needs her children to survive will sit anywhere and cook and things. When men decided to come into street food, what did they do? Then what again? They have what? Check comes with a nice little kiosk and nice whatever. So please, women, it's about time that when it comes to campaign time, the men who can also do the checks and do this thing, they should do some on the cooking. And please, I'm just saying as an example, I beg, that let's share. You understand? Positions, let's share. When it comes to the work, the cooking and this thing too, let's also share in there. I know that, and then the thing is that I keep saying that who teaches when we are growing up? Who teaches us to cook? Our mothers. The mothers, especially those who are mothers here. Are you teaching your boy child to cook as well as you're teaching your girl child? Do you understand? Because if the boy too has been brought up and it is the women who cook, do you think he'll be happy when they tell him that he should also cook? So it is the orientation process from childhood, the socialization. Let's give them all equal opportunity. That way, if your son decides to become, look, I have a cousin. I have this cousin. I think that he decided to go to Polytechnic and to do catering. Initially, we were all saying, when this young man finished, he got a job as those days it was Swiss. That airline, what's it called? Swiss Air. He got a job at Swiss Air. Within a short while, he had bought a house at Regimanuel. And then from Swiss Air, he went to the other one. What's it called? Dubai Air. Dubai. What do they call it? Emirates. And he was in charge of the frozen food. People export mangoes and things, This, my cousin who I said went to Polytechnic, that we all thought that we have gone to university and we are this. He has more houses than I do. No, I'm telling you. Do you get it? So if you give equal opportunity, and his father was a judge, magistrate. So initially I was like, why would my grand uncle allow his child to go to do catering at Polytechnic? He ended up very, very well and is doing very well. All of us, when you're doing party and you're looking for those days, blue skies, the blue skies thing, he was in charge of creating the thing, doing for basically for West Africa. So if you give equal opportunity, you never know. Your boy child too can become somebody from getting that thing. The third schedule is strategies for gender equity in relation to the executive. So this time it is the executive arm that is responsible for this. President shall ensure gender equity in nominations for appointments as chief executives of district assemblies. And the president shall ensure gender equity in nominations for appointments to district assembly. Remember that policy that says that at least 30% should be women of the appointees. We did some work with the local government. They said that sometimes, even the appointees, you have more men than women. We need the women in there to be this thing. Obligations of political parties. So the following strategies shall be adopted to promote the active participation of women in local governance. They said there should be separate budgetary allocations given to women at the assembly level to run the affairs of women. The ministry responsible for local government are to provide training to successful female candidates to share their knowledge with aspiring female candidates. The district assembly level election and things provides a training ground for many women. Once they are able to conquer that, then they can move to the national. So this is in the law, not from us. It is in the law, the strategies. They are supposed to provide training to successful female candidates to share their knowledge with aspiring female candidates. Then a database of female aspirants for political positions shall also be created at all levels of decision making. Progression of female members of this assembly shall be nominated. One of the things which, recently we did this workshop in the 3 parts, the Zone Ghana, there was a group we did some work with. The Zone Ghana into southern sector, middle sector, and then the northern sector. So in discussions, we asked them that, the women who are nominated, when they come, do they do well? Do you know what all the assembly members said? The local government officials, they say when they come, they have nothing to say. And we asked them that, have you gone out of your way to try to train them to be able to be active and to participate effectively? Then a mentoring program for aspiring successful and unsuccessful female candidates. At the local government level, it's easy to identify potential women leaders and to train them. Gender equity and women's empowerment shall be included as a criterion for assessing the district assembly common fund. This is in the law, but we're told that the district assembly common fund doesn't have it in it, so maybe it may be difficult to implement it. And then a regime of sanctions and rewards for defaulting and compliant district assemblies shall be instituted respectively. So we are hoping that when we're able to acquire some more resources, we'll be able to do an award scheme. Right now, there's a scheme for the cleanest district assembly. Also, there should also be one for the district assembly that is very gender friendly. Yes? You don't hear of women as presiding members, etc., because that's a place that they can learn. So please, those of you who are young, who are aspiring, you can do your experiment at the district assembly level and move up. Then obligations of political parties. So we have summing them up. Public sector appointment. Government is required to ensure appropriate representation of women in governance and decision making. We've already mentioned it. The strategies are in the schedule. Government shall ensure progressive gender balance in public office, governance and decision making positions in line with the targets. Then the president in making appointments, ministerial, independent constitutional bodies, governing bodies of state institutions, public service, district assembly, local government, and any other office that appointments are made to is supposed to bear gender in mind. The next slide. Then the executive is supposed to track and monitor the experiences of women appointed into public office, governance and decision-making positions to learn what the experiences are and to help them to improve. The government shall implement, this is in the fourth schedule, implement gender mainstreaming in public offices, governance and decision-making. Government shall conduct gender sensitivity training for government appointees to raise awareness about gender issues. You know, the fact that you're a woman then doesn't immediately assume that you are gender sensitive. It requires training to raise your awareness about issues to do with gender. And please, as we are talking about gender, do you know that there's a distinction between gender and sex? Somebody is born a man or a woman, okay? And then every society ascribes what is associated with women, you know, that's the female gender, and what is associated with men. For me, the classic one I always say is that in some of the old pictures you may have seen, traditionally, when a man and a woman both can go to a farm, not so. When they are coming from the farm, what would they be carrying? The woman will be carrying what? She has a baby at her back. She has firewood and the lower this thing. She has plantain on top of the firewood. Then she has the abe. What would the abe be? Abe, you know the abe that they cut from the farm. And then she probably also is holding a child, right? And what would the man be holding? He'll be holding a hoe. And sometimes what? What will he be holding? The sweet thing he'll be holding. Palm wine. He'll be holding the gourd, etc. And when they get home, sorry, my examples are getting too much, so let me hurry up before Auntie Esther beats me up. So conduct gender sensitivity training, promote leadership development programs and initiatives aimed at increasing the number of women. Can we go? The next slide, so we can have it. Okay. So implementation so far, these are pictorial. We had our first vice president, we've already clapped for her. Okay. Then the next thing. The next, when it comes to cabinet ministers, the constitution requires 19 cabinet ministers. Currently, out of the 19, we have 17 men and 2 women. That's Minister for Gender and Minister for Trade. So the percentage is not so, it's 10%. It's commendable, but we are very happy that the Minister for Gender is now also a cabinet minister. Then the other minister, the next slide, the other ministers. Out of, so far, the 60 that we've been counting, we have 46 males and then 10 females. So it's 10%. So, you know, there are 5 sector ministers, 3 regional ministers, 2 deputy sector ministers. So the target is still developing. The next slide. Council of State. Out of the 31-member Council of States, we have 16 are elected. Only 1 woman got elected. And then the rest were nominated. 7 were nominated by His Excellency the President. So currently we have 25.6%. It's not bad. We have 8 women there now. Then we have the recent Economic Advisory Board. Currently out of the 12, there are 5 who are women, representing 41.7%, which is also very good. Then let's move on. Then when it comes to CEO, MD, heads of institutions, the security services, we now have a female head of fire service, prison service, also a woman, Environmental Protection Agency head, Petroleum Commission, Minerals Income Investment Fund, also women. So the numbers are coming up. Yes? Okay. Then we have Parliament. The story is not very good. 276, we only have 41. And it is what the political parties do that will change the numbers in 2028. That is why we are engaging. We need to do a lot. We are way behind. You know. The next slide. Local government, as we said, is also not good. The DCs who are appointed to, sorry, out of the 261, We are still trying to get the other names, but I don't think that we've reached 30% when it comes to MMDCEs. But I think there are also a few women there. The next slide. Judicial service is doing very well. As at the end of 2024, they had already reached 49% for women. I mean, the highest level there is the judges and magistrates, etc. They are doing well. And for me, they are doing well because in 2011, they adopted a gender policy, saw how the women were down there, made sure that in appointments of judges at different levels, they increase the number of women. So for me, I keep saying that if judicial service can do it, all other government institutions can also do it. I just have a gender policy and consciously, intentionally make strategies to push things up. So implementation so far, I know that Isaac has already taken you through this, setting up of the Gender Equity Committee. The LI is also almost ready. Sensitization is ongoing. Then we all know the appointment. The next slide. Gaps, legal limitations, section 20 and the 7th of the law, which we went through, and the 7th schedule. It's for me, I keep saying that that's one of the weakest parts of the law, okay? Because the language is not imperative enough. It doesn't force the political parties. There are no sanctions for non-compliance, and the provisions could not be made strong. The thing is that during the advocacy for the law, we tried to see whether we could push for a stronger provision. And they told us that the Constitution, I think Articles 93, 94, sets up the criteria by which somebody can become a member of Parliament. There's nothing about gender there. And they told us that unless that is changed, you cannot have an act of parliament stronger than what the Constitution said. That is why the law is as it is. So we at the Affirmative Action Law Coalition submitted a proposal to the Constitutional Review Committee to strengthen it, because in many countries, they have that gender inclusivity as part of their criteria for entry into parliament. If that is done, then we can come back to strengthen the law to make it, as they say, by force for political parties to comply. The next slide. So there are legal limitations. There are also structural barriers and limitations. High cost of political participation. The cost of political engagement, as we said, is very high. Filing fees, campaign fees, etc. And women have problems in amassing wealth, so it's a big problem. Male-dominated party leadership, limited access to funding for women, generally. It's a problem. So these are structural barriers and limitations. The next slide. Cultural and political barriers. And sociocultural norms and political practice continue to disadvantage women in politics. Gender bias in candidate nomination and selection. Negative stereotype about women's leadership, which we've already spoken about, so I'm not emphasizing. Prevalence of intimidation, harassment, and gender-based attacks create a hostile environment for women, female aspirants. Then, physical attacks, social media trolls, and victimization of women leaders. We are saying that section 28 says it's an offense to do this. A few women have suffered it, but they are yet to test the law. We are hoping that once all the structures are in place, people start challenging those who to take them through violence when they come to leadership. The next slide. Then reporting, government has, when it comes to reporting, government puts all the figures together and said currently, including the presidential staffers, etc., they are 23.2%, which are the figures, but we are also saying, we from the CSO section says that if you look at section 14, let's try and look at each of the categories and see where we are to be able to be a guide. Monitoring and accountability gap, weak monitoring and reporting. So far, as you heard, the structures, the GEC has now set up the structures. So the monitoring and then accountability, reporting, etc., will soon be making demands on people to do that. So for now, not much is happening in there. And so we are that without robust accountability systems, implementation cannot be effectively measured or enforced. The Act requires annual reports by political parties to be submitted to the EC. 2026 is the first measuring year. Before September is the anniversary of the starting of the law. By September, the structures reporting will be demanded from all relevant institutions. Then the GEC will be able to assess and then report to the general public as to what is happening. So about the way forward, it's important that we should move from formal acknowledgement to action. Political parties must move beyond acknowledging the act to actively implementing its provisions. Institutionalize gender equity within party systems. It's very, very important. Reform party structures, amend party constitutions, introduce internal quotas or benchmarks, ensure gender balance in party leadership. Then support women candidates. Reduce or waive filing fees. But like I said, as far as that is concerned, most political parties are already doing that. And it is very commendable that they're doing, but they should increase it more. Build a pipeline. Political parties must issue mentorship programs, leadership training, especially for young female politicians, and establish structured progression pathways. Data and accountability within the party system. Political parties must issue gender disaggregated data systems, comply with annual reporting on gender to the Electoral Commission. They are supposed to report through the Electoral Commission to the GEC, so they should try and comply. Then safe political environment. They should create a safe political environment, enforce zero tolerance for harassment, intimidation, and gender-based violence, and ensure internal disciplinary measures are aligned with the protections under Section 28 of the Act. So people shouldn't also offend when it comes to these gender things, and women within parties should be able to report that their rights have been violated. There's a need to engage leadership regularly to implement the Act. So please be bold. When you get to know the law, read it for yourself, etc., be bold to hold your leaders accountable to the provisions of the law. Support the ongoing constitutional review process. We think that if we're able to be pushed to have the constitutional review to make gender one of the criteria that should influence entry into parliament, would have achieved a lot. And Ghana will stand up high when it comes to gender. Most people look at countries through their parliaments to see how well they are doing. I hear this week the Interparliamentary Union ranking came out. Ghana was 130 something out of, we weren't doing well at all. And I hear that there was talk in Parliament that something should be done about it. Contribute to sensitization and advocacy. It's very important that there's continuous sensitization and advocacy on this law and on other gender mainstreaming things. Yes. So the conclusion and call to action. So the Affirmative Action, Gender Equity Act is our shared responsibility. To fulfill it, it's a collective responsibility to be shared by us all. The implementation is very urgent. 2026, 2028, 2034, the targets are there. It requires immediate action by political parties. It's crucial that we understand this isn't merely about fulfilling quotas, it's about enriching our governance with diverse perspectives of especially women that reflect our communities. So I urge each one of you to take ownership of this journey. Together we can advocate, support, and create the necessary conditions for women to lead, innovate, and bring transformative change to our societies. So in sum, that is my presentation. And I'd like to end, I beg, by helping me to say our tagline. We are saying that implement the AA Act now. Can you please join me? Implement the AA Act now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Give her a warm round of applause again and again and again. Ladies and gentlemen, that was very rich, very, very rich indeed, very, very thought-provoking, and we are deeply grateful. Sheila, you did well. The problem I have is also the dilemma all of you have. I have to get you out of this room in an hour. Somebody has made a presentation of 1 hour. I have group work of 1 hour. You have a communique of another hour. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I think it would be in my interest to sit down at this point. If I open up this for questions and discussions, and maybe clarifications, I'll be in serious trouble. Very, very trouble. Very, very. I'm de-traumatized. So what I'm going to do, Sheila, if you don't mind, is that I'm going to open it up for just 2 or 3 salient questions. Then I rather will pose the questions and then we will discuss around it and see if we can get some of the things resolved. How does that sound? So if somebody wants an issue of clarification, then maybe I can accommodate it, and then I'll bring up the questions we are supposed to discuss, and then we have structured discussions around that. Does that help? Does that help? Does that help? Unless you allow me to go to like 2 o'clock. Right, okay. So any quick, any questions? Does anybody have any burning questions, clarifications they would like? Don't let me intimidate you, please. Yeah, any clarification, or was as clear as water? Was it clear? Yeah. Auntie, was it clear? Yeah. Was it clear, Auntie? Oh, Auntie's no what I'm saying. Yeah. Auntie, was it clear? Okay, great. We thank God. So can I have my questions projected then? They are the ones on your friend then. The program. Yes, please. Can you project them for me? Thank you. So whilst we are projecting the questions, they read, and I think you all have them, don't you? One, what concrete steps can political parties take to meet the objectives of the Act? And I think she was very clear on the Schedule 7 requirements, the objectives of the Act, and then also Schedule 7 of the Act. And then secondly, how can parties integrate gender equity into internal party regulations? And then what support is needed from CSOs and other stakeholders? I'll do it like, I'll devote about 10 minutes to each of the presentations, each of these areas of discussion. If there's a problem, can I have the thing they use to project? Can I have it? I can type it myself. No, I also would like to be able to record the answers. Pardon? I would like to. Right, and I also need somebody to help me. Why are you going with your handbags? When handbag comes in, I'm in trouble. Yes, sir. All right, yes, so, right, so those are the three main questions. The first area of consideration, please, if there's a problem, I can do the projection from here. So I can also type the answers. Right, the first question is, what concrete steps can political parties take to meet the objectives of the Act? What concrete steps? In my class, there are no right or wrong answers. Sorry, can I have somebody to help me facilitate the mic? I can't mic myself. Yeah, thank you. About some 20 years ago, I could have done it. I can't. Yeah, right. So help me out. I mean, who can give me a shot? I mean, we've all heard what is expected of us as political parties. We've heard the challenges. I mean, Sheila was extremely illustrative. How can political parties meet these objectives or these aspirations to enhance women's visibility in political office, public life, and also women's representation? How can we do this? Yes, I see a beautiful hand over there. Start. Oh, where's that many empty? Yes. Yes, please. Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
Do I have to stand up or I can sit?
No, you can do whatever.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. So one of the biggest problems that comes to women's participation in politics is delegate system.
Delegate system.
Yes, the delegate system is structured in a way that allows the biggest spender or the person with the biggest ability to marshal socioeconomic resources in order to be able to win the election. So I think one way we can, political parties can do this is first and foremost a reformation of the delegate system. The ability to reform the delegate system would translate in an ability in allowing women to even come into the database. So if we say that in every delegate system there must be at least 50% of women in the delegate system and 50% men, already you are having the representation there. So the likelihood of women wanting to choose themselves who will be people that are running is very high. The second thing that I would suggest is the institution of a democracy fund on the part of the political party. Each political party must have a fund that is purposely dedicated to supporting women who want to run for certain positions within the political party. And this is more in light of whether it is maybe you are running for MP, whether you are running for a parliamentary candidacy. The biggest barrier, like we've all identified, is socioeconomic resources. If you do not have those resources in place, you can't even sometimes go and buy nomination forms. So sometimes we see instances where the political party will say they are waiving the prices for nomination forms. They say, oh, you will pay half instead. They should waive it off completely. So women should not have to pay for nomination. I mean, to be able to run for positions in the very first place. So I think the reformation of the delegate system and then the institution of a fund of this nature as well, if we're able to do that, we can be able to make concrete steps. But before I conclude, the people in this room here, all of them are women. None of us here occupy major positions in political parties. I mean, like for a majority. So it means that it will take not just people in this room, but the actual leaders of these political parties to come out and say, we will make commitment to ensuring the implementation of the Affirmative Action Bill. So I'm hoping that in further consultation, we'll have instances where you have the national chairman of both parties, like all the parties, and all their national executives, whether it's men or women. If you are able to do that and bring those people to make an actual commitment, then they sign a declaration of that sort. That is when we are actually going to be able to hold these people by their words. Because there's a law, all right, but then again, who are the forces or implementers of those laws? Those people are the ones going to implement it. So if you have the decision makers in the room doing the actual work, then you are going to have making headway. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You solved a major problem for me. Yes, please. I see a gentleman's hand here. Yeah. And then, not you. Here. Oh, okay. Oh, Vida. After Vida. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I just want to do a follow-up on what my sister just said. I think we should not only look at the delegate list, because from where I come from, we have constitutions. Yes. Each party has constitutions, and we need to amend the constitution by saying that in all the positions that are in the parties, some specific positions should be liaised out to women. No man should contest that position, especially both NDC and PP that I know is the women's wing that is being open to us. The other positions, it cuts across. And because some of them are the hierarchy positions, and sometimes the men that are the financiers more than us, they try to intimidate us because of their money. So I think if we go back to the Constitution very well and amend it and leave some vacant positions for the women. And sometimes the women...
Let me rephrase this for my own clarification.
Yes.
I'm hearing you say that, first of all, party constitutions need to be amended to reflect this intent.
Yes.
And then also possibly provide for certain positions, clear positions to be reserved for women.
Yes.
Beyond the women's wing positions.
Yes, please.
So that men do not contest for that, but these are mainly for women.
Yes,
some
please.
particular positions.
Yes, please.
Okay, give me an example of such a position.
For example, like secretary. From my perception of meeting female women, I know some of them are very good in secretarial aspects.
Okay.
And second to some of them can be vice.
Okay. Right. So we
And
can
then
leave
the
it for the
financial-
parties to decide.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Then you were saying something else. Land, and then I'll come here. Land.
And also from the parties aspect to when it comes to the filing, I also assist on that. They should waive the filing fees for all female in any of the contests. At the constituency level, not at the parliamentary level, at least.
All right, so I've amended that one. Rebecca. At least, yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, come. So my third hand is here. Okay. Then when you finish, then I'll come up here, please.
Okay, thank you. So to add up to what political parties must do to help implement this affirmative action bill. I think within our parties, there should be a unit or sort of a unit which is specifically there to see to the affirmative action bills, whatever things are in should be passed. So within the party structures, the constituency grassroots, where we should have units, leaders who should be able to see to it that within the constituency, there are the percentage of positions for women are achieved. At the regional level, the units will also have to see to it. And at the end of the day, they should bring reports to general meetings for us to know how we are progressing in this thing. So I think adding up and going forward, we should insinuate that there should be units to take care of this affirmative action bill we are all talking about. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you. Please, my hand is here. Madam, you are the next after this lady. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Please, before I ask my question, I would want to add something little to what the presentation Auntie Sheila made. For the first time, under the regime of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa, we had a first female chief of staff. So for political parties, what I believe we should do is to invest more in education. Because there are times that there are vacant positions. And we might be looking for women who at a point in time do not have what it takes to be there in terms of education within the same political scope. So we should look more at education, empowering our women, building our confidence to be able to stand up for ourselves as women. Because if you look at most of the political parties, for example, MPP, if you want to contest, you pay 50% of it. Mostly, there are certain women in the party who have that resources. But maybe due to the fact that they might be insulted, attacked, they might shy away. So to some extent, yes, monetary matters, but everything has to do with the psyche of the woman, how she'll be able to stand up for herself, and also a deliberate attempt to allocate positions to women. For example, for MPP, 3 consecutive terms, when you look at the youth wing, a woman is appointed as a deputy. Yes. Yes. For MPP, 3 consecutive times, we've had women being appointed as deputies. So maybe deliberately, not to specifically allocate a certain position to women, but whatever be the case, for example, if you have a general secretary, you pick 2 deputies. So let there be a deliberate allocation. One should be a female, one should be a male. Then it trickles down to the bottom. Thank you so much.
Well done. Thank you. I think my next hand is here. Yes.
Okay. Let's say, so far, the political parties in Ghana who have really made it big by putting women in most of the top positions, I'll say PNC and CPP. Because we were having general secretary who were women. They went for the position. They were not appointed. They fought for it. They were voted for. So with this example, the other 2 giants also have to take something from it, and then they also have to take those positions, not to be appointed. Because if we say we are waiting to be appointed, when we will get the main position as women, as a flag bearer, as a general secretary. Here in this case, we are talking about filing fees. You say half of the filing fee. It's not every woman who will get that half. Right now in MPP, the half of the filing fee of the presidential candidate, the woman cannot get it. It's true. With NDC, the woman cannot get it because the money is huge. That's not the woman who will not even venture. We are telling the truth. Because the money is huge. Mama Esther, let's say, even with we, the smaller parties, as a national woman organizer, once I was vying for my position, it was 20,000 for filing fee. And I have to write petition upon petition for them to reduce it. Because they are telling me that whatever the man will get, or a man in that position will get, is the same thing with the opportunities we, the woman, too, will get. That is what they are thinking of. They are not thinking about we, the woman, being in that position. Because they are thinking you also get the same benefits or whatever will comes to the man. Here in this case, one of my sisters was saying the bigger parties have wavered the position of woman organizer to be only women. It's a lie. They have not amended it. In MPP constitution, in NDC constitution, PNC constitution, is he or she. So a man can contest you. So we have to work. We, the women, we have to join hands and work so that our political parties will change or amend that place for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'm happy about this affirmative action bill being implemented and we're not getting the benefit of the implementation. The affirmative action bill was supposed to make sure that it gives 30% representation. Look, when it comes to women matters, let's not add politics into it. The problems we are having in our various political parties, the problem MPP people are having, NDC is having it, PMP we are also having it. So let's not, CPP and PNC, they all have those problems. So when we are talking about affirmative action, let's not try to think that maybe it's a political party. The problem is that men want us to carry chairs, jump and do things for them so that they can sit on after they are done with whatever they are doing. We will carry the benches back to where they saw us, where we took them from. So the problem is this, the implementation of the affirmative action is not, me, I have not seen it. Because the president was supposed to pick 30% ministers, 30% ministers, cabinet ministers were supposed to be 30. As we speak now, cabinet ministers, we have 10%, ministers 16%, deputy ministers 14%, the rest we don't know. So this is a worrying event. Because I remember whilst I was speaking about it, and I was not happy, because during the campaign time, I saw how the NDC women came out. Some of them will be standing in the street, and this in the streets. And these people, they are not just normal people. I've heard people talk about education. Some of them are master's degree holders. They are degree holders, and they were all there suffering, campaigning. As it comes to chopping, it is the men who are chopping and the women have been left behind. So with the affirmative action, the President Mahama is the first president after the implementation, the passing of the bill, who should have given 30% to women, and he has not been able to do so. And I remember even when they were looking for district chiefs executives, he said that the MMDCs, the women are scared, they are not coming out. Then I had a call from Upper West region. It's not true. We have even come out to do a press conference to tell the president that we have come out. These are our qualifications. When I looked at the qualifications, degree, some of them masters, I had to forward all of them to the chief of staff because I saw that what the president said and what was on the ground was not true. So we are all here not to come and praise our political parties and then try to do anything for them just because our party is in power. If we say something, they will be angry. We are not here for that. We are here to tell the truth, that the representation of women and the passing of this bill should have brought some positivity in our lives. We are not seeing it under the umbrella of the NDC. Yeah. And that is so worrying. I think the NDC ladies who are here should be so angry with whatever is going on because they are competent, very, very competent. And yet the president has not given anything to them. Right. I heard that he is piling everything. When they say affirmative action, women in leadership positions.
Mama, 1 o'clock. Oh.
Women in leadership positions. So that's it.
Yeah, right. No, what I'm actually. Yeah. Right. What I'm actually hearing is that we need to continue with our advocacy to progressively realize because I think the webinar on Wednesday, Sheila was telling us that there's been an uneven achievement because in a place like the judiciary, they've gone beyond the 30%. But meanwhile, in Parliament, we can't change it within the 4 years. Maybe we can do something at the district level elections, who knows. So what I'm hearing is for progressive advocacy, progressive reminding, progressive support, and progressive commentary. Okay, yes, you this man, what do you want? Okay, I'll talk to you. When I said talk, you didn't talk. Right, talk to me. And then I want to look at the internal mechanisms also. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Keep it sweet, why? Tight. Okay,
sure.
1 o'clock. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think that what political parties can do is to, one, have a safe political space. You know, if we are not safe or we don't feel safe coming out to participate or like put ourselves out there, I'm not sure we would come out in our numbers like that. And then another thing that they should do, they should be intentional about candidate selections, not just encouraging women to participate or put themselves out. They should be intentional, which is to make sure that whatever we are putting this woman out there to do, the person will win, and not just the normal encouragement, oh, go, 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 and then they leave you. They should be intentional about it. And then this intentionality, it comes down to what I have termed leadership pipeline. You know, we should start grooming our women right from the polling station up to the national level, where you know that this is what I want this person to achieve. So we are being intentional about grooming, educating, so that whatever opportunity that comes our way, we know that we have competent enough women to put them in these various places than to leave us all in the pool like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Well done. Okay. Can I have these two gentlemen at the back there?
My name is David Johnson Atakpa. I'm the administrator of the women's wing of the NDC.
Okay.
Yes, please. With respect to what my sister, elder sister Omami mentioned, I think it's rather unfortunate. From where I sit and from where I think His Excellency the President has done in terms of appointments, he's really done well in putting women in key positions. If you look at the security services, for instance, if you look at the fire service, if you look at the prison service, they are all led by women. And these are key units of government. I think it's important for us to realize that for the first time in the history of this country, we have a woman as number 2. It was this same NDC that made a woman number 3 some years back. So work is progressive. When you are building a nation, or when you are building a house, you build it like a cathedral. You start from the ground upwards. Policy formulation and pushing it into law is the first step. Implementation can also be a bit challenging. There's a responsibility I'll give to us seated in this room. I think it shouldn't be said in the next 5-10 years that the men in Ghana are richer than the women in Ghana. When you see a man growing, he goes to school, he's probably looking up to becoming a professional, to earn a salary. The salary is fixed. But most of our Ghanaian women are into commerce, commercial activity. When you do commerce, you grow exponentially. 1 multiplies into 2, 2 multiplies into 4, and 4 multiplies into 8. So I believe if we are educating our women, like J.E.A. Agri said, and we empower our women economically, I think in the next 5-10 years, the women will have enough money, even more than the men, to pay for those forms. Women will be at the center stage. And who knows, maybe in the next 10-20 years, we'll have a woman as number 1.
Right.
And so it's a work in progress.
Right.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. I think that I said that it's a progressive process.
Right.
We need advocacy. And the next speaker said we should be intentional.
Right.
With clear targets of empowering women economically, socially, and in other ways that they can compete.
And we the men are here to support.
Oh, Mong Hao and Asum Bay. They just. We've heard it before. Please, the gentleman in green, were you going to say something? Yes. Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. I will go this way. During the presentation, the presenter made mention of our religion, tradition, and then culture.
Yeah.
I think education should go to that side very well.
Yeah.
Because looking at our National House of Chiefs, Queen Mothers are not represented. If they were to be there, they could have speak for women. And thank God today there's a Queen Mother in the building here who could also help us educate the women from the grassroots, and we move forward. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. I'm doing this. I'm actually answering all of your 3 questions. So what I'm doing is that what is coming is attaching on the place. So I'm trying to separate some of the answers into that. I'm assuring you. We were planned to have a group discussion. We cannot do that. So we are eliciting all of this. Again, somebody pointed out, we want some people who can actually put their signature to the commitments. We need that book to go after them. So that's what we're doing. I think I'm just explaining the process. Right now, I'm segmenting the answers under the various questions, and then I'll throw it back to you, and then we shall use it as an agenda to engage those who can actually put their signatures to commitment. Is that okay with everybody? Yes. Okay, right. So my senior, you're not my senior brother, I'm older than you. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
I am your son. Actually, the whole thing is, I believe Abantu, I've followed Abantu for some time now at some of your meetings or seminars. And what I believe Abantu should be doing now is, Abantu is well established. And I believe you can now go to the various regions and then we start empowering women. If Abantu can start empowering women, 500 in every region, since we have 16 regions, we will know the number of people we have empowered in a year. And I can assure you, madam, within the next 2-3 years, we can now be very proud of close to about 2,500, 3,000 women who have been greatly empowered. And then when they also share it, it will be like a forest. So I'm pleading, this is a plea to Abantu. Because if we meet every time and we share this type of seminars, and then we go home after taking our snacks and everything, and then we forget and meet again, I believe we are not doing it well to help ourselves.
Let me rephrase it for my own understanding.
Yeah.
You are recommending that Abantu and like-minded CSOs
Yes, please.
target a certain cluster of women.
Yeah.
You said 500
Yeah.
in each region and empower them.
Yes, please.
What kind of empowerment are you envisioning?
As my sister is, empowerment is about education. You know, if we are really having a vision, for instance, if Rwanda is doing very well, it's the decision of the leader who decide that, look, this is, if our president here decides that, look, out of my 60 ministers I've promised, I'm picking 35 men, and then the remaining 25 women, we will not be discussing this percentage. If in our parliamentary district, let's say I'm a regional chairman in CPP, in Greater Accra, we opened the doors for women to come in. They didn't come, but we could have gone out to pick them. CPP, we had a woman general secretary, we had a woman national chair leader, and we had even, so as the doors are open. You know, as my sister is saying from another side, that CPP and PNC, the doors are really open. But some of the women, you can really call them and invite them, but you can see their shortcoming that the empowerment is really not there to step in. Those who showed up, like Nanaya Jantua and Fripoma, they had the positions, and they became chairman and leader, and they became this thing. So it depends on how you handle it. And also, you give the position to a woman too. Auntie Sheila, I've been seeing her all over the place because she really stands on the ground, and you are still very firm, even though you are sitting down. But the only thing is that let the women also be really empowered, and they can carry the day. They can carry the day.
So
You can.
is that only education as empowerment?
Come again, madam.
Education
in every area. You see, when a man is empowered, a woman is highly educated, we don't lament, we don't complain. You see, the whole thing is we are all lamenting, we are all complaining because of a shortcoming. Why is there a shortcoming? That is the problem. The whole thing is about education. As my sister really said, it's education. Political parties, how are we really educating our grassroots? Is it for rowdy issues or for campaign or to shout or whatever it is? No. So I will plead that if Abantu is a sector for women, please, if you go down to the grassroots, you can really have so many women you can empower. Right. That is it.
Right. Then I can also, where else can I come? Yes, please.
Thank you very much. And I'm totally submit to what my brother has said. You know, one thing the women don't understand is the laws will be there all right. Anytime you ask them, they must be deliberate. But when few women get in position, they don't put structures in place to train 3 or 4 women. In the event they are not there, so that they take out from them. They tend to entrench themselves. You understand? Most of the women, when they get position, if you like go around, with the exception of my madam, you understand? She is very sweet chairman. You understand? But some of the women, if like take microphone to even to the market, anytime some few men get position, they put meal behind them. Instead of them taking 2 or 3 women, train them, in the event that they are not there, those women will take over from them. They don't do that. You understand? The laws will be there, deliberate. Let's put deliberate person. But if you, the few women, you get the positions, you are not trying to put structures in place to ensure that in event you are not there, somebody will take over from you. Then who is going to support you? You understand? We the men, anytime we have position, make sure that I'm an aspiring member of parliament. Behind the scene, if you see me training somebody, they take over from me. But the women don't do that. They want to be the queen mothers. They want to be a lawyer, a prosecutor, and a judge. That's the problem. So they have to ensure that anytime they have position, they should try and take 3 or 4 people, train them. When opportunity is open, so that those people can also, in a way, take that position. Thank you very much.
Right. What I'm taking from you is that we should encourage women to mentor other younger women, put in succession processes, and see how to move the women forward. The other part of it about women wanting to be this, I've spent the last 40 years of my life debating and debunking that. So I won't mind you today. Today I'm on another position, on another trajectory. The middle table here, I see your hand making like women in assembly, rural district assemblies. They do this and they bring their hand down. What's happening there? Yes, your table there. Yes. Oh, there's a hand here. Okay, from there, then we go here. Then I'll show you what I've been able to harvest. And then we go. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Yes, please.
Good afternoon once again. Madam Esther, please, I heard today that Rwanda, they have the highest women representation in parliament. Please, I'll plead with Abantu to go and then research into what really went into it to ensure the higher percentage of women represented in parliament. Thank you.
So research into best practice and workable strategies from other countries as well. Okay, yeah. Yes, Han, please proceed. This one, Raymond. Oh, he's not inside. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, just a quick comment. So I think that, and in response to the question that was just asked, I think one of the very important things we need to appreciate is that whenever we try to reform the constitution and institutions, the framework, then we are able to ensure that gender equity is guaranteed. So in the case of the Rwandan, situation, I think it's more of the constitutional reform, and I think that is also within the institution. So we can learn from that, and that is why it is important for political parties, because of the role that we occupy, to begin to look at our structures, the pipeline, and begin to effect the changes from there. And maybe just 2 quick things. I know you are doing that, but just also to refresh our mind, that we shouldn't sit here and assume that we know the scale of the problem. We probably have to go back and do a deep dive do some audit and know what the numbers are saying. And then from there, we can put up very strategic and committed actions to follow through. And I'm sure that by the end of the year, we'll be able to see that the numbers have changed. And then the other thing also has to do with, intentionally also what sometimes they call maybe a gender desk person within the party. And this person will not take other roles that are already in the party, but really to see to it that, gender or women representation and participation, it's really happening from the district to the region and at the national level. So I'm sure there's too few things I want to share, and I hope that, yep.
Yeah, I think somebody had actually said that we should constitute gender equity implementation units at the constituency, regional, and national levels to oversee compliance with the Affirmative Action Act. I think it was you who said it, yes. So it ties in with what you are saying about gender desks and facilities there. All right. Okay, one last one, and then I'll tell you what I have. Isaac, will it be possible? Okay, good. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
I think when Madam Sheila was presenting issues, the key two issues that she mentioned, or we all agreed upon that constituted these challenges are our cultural and then our religions. So if the political parties can be tuned to such areas and see how these things can be changed somehow, I think it will go a long way to look at to address this particular matter. But it will be very difficult, because I don't think there's any king who wants a woman to be in his place as a king. Always want the woman to be a queen, not a king. So for cultural issues, it is going to be very, very difficult. But religiously, I am seeing some kind of improvement and reformations. Now, in our churches, you could see women pastors, women leaders openly preaching in the churches and even leading the churches, sometimes even owning the churches by themselves. So on that aspect, I can see there is some kind of acceptance of women being leaders. So if your attention goes there, I think it will improve the situation drastically so that we can insert it in our politics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Good. Right. So let me show you what I've harvested so far, and then see if I'm speaking truth or I'm not speaking truth. Can people see, or should I make it even bigger? The plus. Okay. First of all, there was observation that the overwhelming presence of I don't want to say presence, or the overwhelming number of participants and the women in the room here may not. No, go away. What's it with the whole day? The overwhelming number of participants and the women in the room here may not hold real decision-making or change-making positions. So whatever we discuss here will require further engagement with the national chairs and executives so that they consider and commit to the requirements and sign declarations to this end. The first area was around concrete steps for political parties to meet the objectives of the Act. First of all, people were saying that we should reform the delegate and primary systems so that the biggest spenders, so that where the biggest spenders do not automatically win, we introduce quotas to ensure women are included in party databases and delegate structures. The second suggestion was around establishing party democracy funds dedicated to supporting women aspirants and reducing financial barriers. The third was to adopt affirmative measures, including waiving or reducing filing fees for women, at least at the constituency level. The fourth is in political education and confidence building for women at all levels, including deliberate allocation of appointed positions to all the qualified or to qualified women. That's why the advocacy thing was mentioned. And then to create meaningful opportunities for women to compete for influential positions and encourage women to work collectively within parties to drive internal change. And here we are learning from the Nkrumahist parties in that regard. Advocacy for the adherence to the provisions of the Act in realizing the quotas and objectives, especially through the appointing mechanism. So that's why we're saying that we are doing this progressively. And then learning between the political parties to foster experience sharing for promoting gender equity. I heard that in Madam's submission over there. Steps for integrating gender equity internally, structural and governance reforms, working towards amending party constitutions to reserve specific leadership positions for women beyond women's wings, and, not prevent, but discourage men from contesting those seats. Then constituting gender equity implementation units at constituency, regional, and national levels to oversee compliance with the Affirmative Action Act, including gender desks at the various levels to own the process. And then also, creating a safe political space where women can confidently operate, and then being intentional about candidate selection to make sure that be intentional about candidate selection to make sure that what brofu is this? Where we put the women, wherever we put the women out, that person will win. And to that end, grooming our women from the basic level, and then encouraging women to mentor and train other women in succession, and putting in structures to promote younger women. In the third category, support from the CSOs, education on the sociocultural elements and traditional sectors, and how these impact on political participation and visibility, so the CSOs can help us with that. Then understanding the challenge of social change in terms of power sharing, religion appears to be more amenable to change than the cultural elements. I didn't capture it all, but that's where it was going. Then empowerment of a targeted number of women in each region. I think you indicated about 500 annually, empowering them around the law, education, civic issues, and other ways, and positioning them for office. Then also research into best practice workable strategies, as well as advocacy to ensure that gender equity is enshrined in constitutional provisions, and assisting political parties to strengthen the pipelines for the change, and working with the political parties to do a deep dive assessment, Raymond, to assess the situation, the baseline situation, what it is that people want to talk about and do. So this is what I've harvested so far. The English is not good, but just so far about it. Should I add a little more? We also anticipated some of the issues. Whilst we've been talking, some people have also been writing and crafting and this thing. So I'll capture two more from here, and then I'll let them also submit it as a product of this meeting. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I saw a hand there.
Oh, I'm just a young girl. I'm not a man. Yes. I think, somebody mentioned a salient point about creating safe spaces.
Yes.
One thing is that many of our political parties are institutions, but they don't have anti-harassment policies So I think that should be even what we should put there, that each political party must commit itself to creation of an anti-harassment policy.
I'm coming. So I saw the safe space. So it's down. Well, safe space.
Yeah. So that.
So and that, okay. So that and also develop policies. I mean, that my friend, safeguarding policies,
PSE,
including anti-sexual harassment.
I don't even want to limit it to sexual harassment. Harassment in general.
Harassment. Safeguarding goes beyond sexual harassment. Yeah. It talks about safety. It talks about creating an environment in which a person can function effectively.
Yes, please.
Without fear.
And the last thing, for internal reform, I think the political parties must make a commitment that the seats which have women as incumbents, do not let those women be contested. Okay. So if a fellow, I know it sounds controversial. I know it sounds controversial. So in the instance, if it is a woman contesting a woman, that's fine. But you will not allow, because no, look, MPP like this, they were saying that they will try to protect the remaining my seats that they had. It's an opinion. I mean, anybody is free to disagree with it.
Consider protecting women-held seats.
Yes.
For contests, if women-held seats, in the case of contests by other women and not men, something like that. There will be tasso to the end. To that end, women are for office, for progressively higher offices. Okay, so I want to draw a curtain on this rough and ready menu. Do I have your permission to share another set of observations? Do I? Okay. Deborah, I've got this. Have you sent it there? Yes. Okay. All right. Well, 1 o'clock, we are back over here. So it's here. It's here. Deborah, come and get this. I believe that a number of the issues that you have mentioned are reflected in the observations that are here. And so this validates that. And what is not there, we will be able to do it. Are you okay? Okay. Sorry. I'll give you meat pie, right? Remember meat pie.
Would you like to say?
Okay. Yeah. Right. Has it come?
Yes, it has. Okay, so good afternoon to all of us. As Auntie Esther said, as the conversations were going on, we were trying to harness some of the discussions to make it into a communique that we can have everyone agree to. And I'm going to read out what we have so far, and then you can tell us if it's a true reflection of the conversations that have gone on here. But for the preamble, basically what we are saying is that with the representative of the various political parties gathered here, CSOs, partners, stakeholders, we have had a conversation, and this was brought together by support from FCDO through Star Ghana Foundation. And the key discussions that we had was what concrete steps political parties can take to meet the objectives of the Act, which we have discussed, how political parties can integrate gender equity into internal regulations, structures, and processes, And then what forms of support the political parties will require from civil society organizations. And so the emerging consensus, as we were talking, that we therefore acknowledge that the passage of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act marks a significant milestone. We all agree that this is something that we have been able to achieve, which is very good. And it's in Ghana's effort to promote gender equity and inclusive governance, the importance of internal reforms, including transparent nomination processes and targeted capacity building for women aspirants. And we also recognize that women remain underrepresented. We've spoken about so much in political leadership, despite constituting a significant proportion of the population. And we always say that women constitute about 51% of the population, but then we do not feel their presence when it comes to political leadership. And we also accept CSO's readiness to provide technical support in terms of training and monitoring to ensure accountability and sustained progress. As the lady was saying, that can the CSOs try to do some baseline and all of that. And so we also recall that the obligations placed on political parties under Section 20 and the 7th schedule, Auntie Sheila took us through the various schedules of the Act to promote gender equity in representation and participation. And we are concerned that implementation within political parties remain very, very limited, with persistent structural, and we've spoken all about that, the financial, socio-cultural barriers and all of that. We've listed all of those things. And so we are determined to take concrete steps to advance the implementation of the Act within the political party systems. And we are also, whilst we are doing this, we'll be engaging in continuous dialogue. One of the things we spoke about is that we should ensure that we continue the engagements beyond even this level, constantly advocating, doing the awareness raising and all of that. And so to sustain the momentum, and that the momentum does not die out. So basically, based on all the things that we have, the consensus that we have come to, these are some of the commitments that we think we can make. Implementation of the Act. We take deliberate and measurable steps to implement the Affirmative Action Act within party structures and systems. And you've already alluded to the fact that there is a need for political parties to ensure that they make this happen. Integration of gender equity. Integrate gender equity targets into party constitutions, policies and internal regulations, and promote gender balance in leadership and making structures. And some of us have even proposed how this can be done effectively. And then capacity building. There was a lot of conversation about mentoring, about building the capacity of women so that they are able to stand, they can put themselves out there with much confidence, assertiveness, and all of that. And so one of the things we are also committing to, as we hope should be the case, is to establish mentorship programs for aspiring candidates. Somebody spoke about the succession planning, so that as you are there, you begin to groom other people to want to take over from you. And so we want to strengthen this process so that women, whether successful or were not successful, should be trained. And to provide leadership training tailored to support women within the party process. So what we are saying is that political parties will commit to providing leadership training programs for women. Safe and inclusive political environment, and that was virtually the last thing that Auntie Esther was trying to add to what she had. Promote zero tolerance of harassment. Somebody mentioned harassment. So we have that intimidation and gender-based discrimination, and to strengthen internal accountability mechanisms. So we should not just put in the policies, but strengthen the, the internal mechanisms that would ensure that there is gender-sensitive internal organization cultures. Data, monitoring and reporting, baseline. It all has to do with data collection. So work with relevant establish and maintain comprehensive databases of female aspirants. It's not when it gets to the time that you say, where are the women? but you are committing to the fact that you make sure that you have a database of all the women who you know are capable, so that when the time comes, you don't come out and say, we don't know where they are. You already have that in place. And then there will be monitoring and compliance with reporting obligations under the Act to ensure that this is effectively done. Then collaboration and partnerships, working with relevant stakeholders, so the Ministry of Gender, the Gender Equity Committee, which has already been set up, the Electoral Commission and civil society organizations to advance implementation. Whilst at the same time, we are strengthening internal accountability mechanisms to monitor the progress. Where are we going? Are we making any progress? Are we achieving? Do we need to step back and reevaluate? What can we do better? And to ensure that we are doing all of this as per the obligations under the 7th schedule. So what is the call to action? We call on political party leadership to demonstrate political will. As for the political will, there is very, very necessary. We can talk all we want, but if the political will is not there, then we are back to square one. So there is the need for political will and demonstrate that we are willing to do this. We want to do it and start putting in place those things. And that we call on government and relevant state institutions to strengthen coordination, monitoring, and enforcement. I was just telling Isaac that it's getting to 1 year since it's 2 years actually, but I believe that for the monitoring and reporting, we can say 1 year that we need to get feedback on what has been done so far since the passage of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Law. And then the Electoral Commission to ensure compliance with reporting obligations. We are calling on civil society and the media to sustain advocacy and accountability efforts, because if we start with all the vim and all the energy and along the line, we like go cold, then we will never amount to anything. We must make sure that we sustain the energy all through until we're able to achieve the targets that has been set in the Act. And that all stakeholders collaborate. So we all have a role to play, whether political party, whether CSO, whether, everybody. We all have a role to play. So in conclusion, we emphasize that the active engagement of political parties is indispensable to the successful implementation of the Act. And so we hereby reaffirm our commitment to advancing gender equity within political parties and contributing to the effective implementation of the Affirmative Action Law. We pledge to take concrete and sustained actions towards achieving inclusive political participation and representation in Ghana. I hope that what we have been able to come up with is a true reflection of all the conversation that has gone on here. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, give her a warm round of applause. Can you see yourselves in this communique? Can you see yourselves in it? So should we do our advocacy and negotiation with the leadership of the political parties based on this, as emerging from this meeting? Can we engage them based on this? Okay, all in favor say aye. All in favor of Esther Abwaji going home, say aye. All right, so now we have come to the end of today's meeting. I want to invite Hamida back to goodbye us. Oh, Hamida, come goodbye us now. Any announcements, any goodbye? And now, Rebecca, am I backing up the wrong tree? She's come to goodbye us. Oh, all right. That's good. Raymond says I should tell you goodbye. Oh, Ampuma is coming to goodbye us. Powerful, powerful. Good. Raymond says there should goodbye. Okay, great.
Okay. So we are going to do an Ahoya clap for Auntie Esther. Hasn't she done a yeoman's job? Okay. So it goes like this. Let's all go. Ahoya. 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 Let's go. Ahoya. 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 So on behalf of the convener of the Affirmative Action Law Coalition, Mrs. Sheila Menka Premo Esquire, the coordinator, Becky Ahaji Esquire, the executive director of Abantu for Development, Dr. Usman Sakutin, the director of Star Ghana Foundation, Mr. Tanko, and Raymond Danso, who is the director of. Okay, I have given him the position, so it's fine. As for Raymond, I can't hurt him. He understands. And the general secretaries of the respective political parties, the NDC, the NPP, PPP, PNP, CPP, GCPP, PPP, PNC, and all the political parties present here and absent. We want to thank Netrite, ASEPA. We want to thank the media, TV3, and all the media houses, Information Services Department. We want to especially thank the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. They have been with us every step of the way. I want to thank you for taking time off of your extremely busy schedules. We know how busy you are, but you've seen that the Affirmative Action Act is an extremely important act that we must all work together to implement. Today, the ministry has told us that the LI is in Parliament. We are waiting 21 days to see its passage. Then we take off like the aeroplane. All the things we have said here, we will be monitoring, we'll be observing, and we'll be calling you back to ensure that as we prepare towards our own political party primaries, we have in cognizance the fact that we have made commitments towards Ghana's Affirmative Action Act. So without much ado, I want to say thank you so much. Allah God richly bless you and grant you safe travels back home. Star Ghana Foundation, we thank you so much for making sure that this work continues. Abantu for Development, the team, Becky, Portia, Auntie Grace. We want to especially thank Auntie Grace for mobilizing today's event. Let's give her a big round of applause. Becky and her team, very well done. Jackie, thank you so much. Auntie Sheila, thank you so much. May God take us all home safely. Asante sana, merci beaucoup, muchos gracias, medase, akpe, nyumwa jabu. Yes, bye-bye. So as part of logistics, we would like you to stay in your seats to make it coordinated. Yes. If you will all rush to that small table, it will become difficult. Let's all keep seated. They are coming around your seats to make sure that everything is fine. Thank you and God bless you. Bye-bye. Please, yes, we are going to give the last ahoya to Mrs. Hamida Harrison. She is I won't say Methuselah, but one of the pioneers of this act. So with a round of applause, let's go ahoya. We are giving you copies of the AA Act. You can't say that I don't know what is in the law. We are giving it to you. If you can't read, go and give it to your son, your daughter. She will read it for you, okay? And the Women's Manifesto for Ghana.